Hey guys, Ronin here. Welcome on back to the Retrocade. We are wrapping up our Friday twofer with a little bit more Final Fantasy VI. As always, leave a like, hit the subscribe button if you are new, and ring the bell for the latest content. Also be sure to follow us on Twitter at @RetroCade. And don't miss our special Sports Saturday and Sucker Punch Sunday features, which again will be happening this weekend. Still haven't chosen my games for Saturday or Sunday yet, but that's what gives me the rest of the day to get that done. So, in the meantime, if there's a game that you would like to see featured in the future on the channel, feel free to leave a comment or drop us a tweet and let us know. You can choose from the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, or PlayStation 2, and it can be any game you want from those consoles. Any game across 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th generation. And be daring. If there's a game you would like me to try out, as long as it doesn't get me an explicit content tag or something, you know, have a little bit of discretion here, then I want to know what games you would like me to try out. There are thousands and thousands of games across the Golden Age that we have at our disposal here, and I would like to see what sort of things you would like to have us profile in the future. If anything, it could be a one-day playthrough that I can give you an honest review of, or it could be something a little bit longer. So, as an additional programming note, I've already got our next game for our long playthroughs already lined up. I'm not going to tell you what it is yet, since we're only maybe about a third of the way through Final Fantasy VI, but watch this space because we'll be having more of that stuff coming up in the future. Because, as always, it's always about content. So, speaking of content, at the end of the last episode, I said I may end up having to make an executive decision on going back a little bit, because we had gotten out of the village we were in, where we picked up the Espers and found Tina, gotten back down here to Jadur, leveled up a little bit, but I made a slight faux pas in that I didn't flesh out the party. I had to choose 2 members of the reserve, put them in along with Locke and Celis, and get down here, and then we would head down to the Opera House, and carry on their quest line. Well, I flubbed that, and as a result, I made the next 20 minutes of gameplay exponentially harder than it needed to be. So, I did decide to go back and replay before I started recording this second episode for today. So we do have a full party. We've got Celis, we have Gal, Locke, and Edgar. I also did a little bit of research in between episodes and found out that in order to get Gal to learn more rages, I need to go all the way back to the Veld. That's the only place that he can go to learn. But because we have encountered so many different enemies since then, before we go back down to the Opera House, we're going to head back up that way and take care of that, because for as formidable as Gao currently is, if we have the option to make him bigger and badder, then why not do that? Especially because we know we're going to have a meeting, our second meeting with Othros, who was this big purple octopus squid thing that we fought way back, I think in episode 5, 6, or 7, thereabouts. And I know we're going to face him again after this, so he is kind of the Gleeok of this game. And if you don't know that reference, 1, shame on you, and 2, go back and play Legend of Zelda. You won't miss out. But to get there, we're going to have to cover a lot of ground, so I'm just going to go ahead and get a Chocobo. Now, I did do all the stuff I did at the end of the, or the beginning of the episode, where I stocked up on some equipment for everybody. He restocked our potion quotient. I did not mean that to rhyme. It was just the first thing that came to my mouth. I've been a journalist for 15 years. I get paid by the word, even though I usually dabble in nickel and dime stuff. But we have to get back to the Veld in order to make sure we can get back to, but it looks like what we can do is we can just come back to the castle and have them take us back towards Narsh. And once we do that, then we can go to the Veld. And in theory, we should be able to get there a lot quicker. So now I gotta remember how to get around my own castle. That is the problem when you play a game of this scale. That you tend to forget where everything is laid out. No, not that one. This one? It's this one. Okay, so we're going to go back to Figaro. Because then we have to go back through the cave, come out near South Figaro, go over the mountain, and then once we get through all that, we'll have to go back. We're going to cover a lot of ground in this episode that we've already trodden over. My suspicion is that our patience, and by proxy yours, since you're going to be tuning in for this, will be rewarded. The one issue that I have always found in playing role-playing games like Final Fantasy, and it's not exclusive to Final Fantasy, it is oftentimes how it works for a lot of these types of games. You inevitably get what we always used to refer to as the weak sister. And it's not anything gender-specific, it's that you will undoubtedly have one character that you could have leveled up if you had taken the time and energy to do it. And when you have a character like Gao who is able to give you a lot in return for the investment, that could be a big problem down the road. And that was one thing I discovered in playing Final Fantasy VII, was that in FF7, with the materia system, you were just able to go ahead and have your characters learn skills as they were fighting enemies, so long as they had the materia equipped. You didn't have to do this sort of thing with Gao, where you have to go all the way back to a certain location and have him relearn everything again. Since we know we're going to be getting access to an airship here pretty soon, I'd like to think that will make this sort of thing a lot easier, or if there's going to be other regions on the map that will have velts that he'll be able to learn at. But that they put this in and they force you to backtrack is it is a bit meticulous, I'm not gonna lie, but again, the hope is that our patience and our perseverance on this will yield positive results. And also, since the enemies we're fighting in here aren't particularly strong at this stage, given how powerful we are, I mean, all things considered, it could be a lot worse. For instance, but right now, like, Gao has 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 abilities. And this can go a whole lot longer than that. So it does behoove us to stock up while we can. But because the castle can't go any further than where it's been, because there's no deserts for it to pop out of, that's an altogether different problem. But we are still leveling up. Characters are getting better. And because we've equipped multiple characters now with espers, as I understand it, as they continue to grow along with us, that should make it more interesting. So now Gao has learned Thunder. Alright. I wonder if I can get back in here. I don't think I'll be able to. Yep. So South Figaro is still closed off. That's not helpful. And we're going to have to go up the mountain. I'm thinking what I might do. I think in order to expedite this process a little bit, I'm going to do one more thing, and I'm going to give... let's see. Because I don't need to worry about barriers and stuff so much right now. And I will take my chances with... There. So by giving Gao the dash shoes, we can move a little bit quicker along this route. We're still going to have random encounters, obviously, but should not be as many. And with that crossbow, it's still just nuts. Alright, come around the bend. Listen, jerk. See, stocking up on accessories may seem tedious in and of itself, but this can also help in slightly unforeseen ways when you've got to do a lot of farming. But now everybody is learning spells at a fairly fast clip. I'm wondering if that big sucker is going to be anywhere near as much of a problem as it was. I think so. And that speaks to how well the evolutions of these games are, is that when you start leveling up enough, you can go to town on previously formidable foes, more or less with impunity. I ain't gonna lie, I like that. Don't like that slight screen hiccup, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. So Locke has learned fire. Alright, take him out. In hindsight, I am glad that we had the party put back together properly. Because otherwise, if I was still doing this with Celis and Locke, even this would be a slog. And then not everybody would be leveling up in the way I need them to. And it would especially make this whole trip pointless because it wouldn't have Gal. So let that be a lesson to you, if anything, if you try and play this game or any other classic role-playing game. You know, pay attention to what everybody is doing and understand that you've got everything as you want it before you set off. I mean, I didn't have to replay very long to get back to where we were to start this episode. I think I only put in another 10 minutes at best, but it made getting from Zozo down to Jador a lot easier, for one. And then once I stocked up on everything I needed in Jador, and then we headed out, yeah, this isn't nearly as tedious as it could be if it was just two characters as opposed to having my current foursome. Now, because at some point we are going to get a character with an airship, I'm trying to think ahead on this, in that, in keeping with other Final Fantasy games I have played, and again, I've played Final Fantasy 1, Final Fantasy 2, FF6 now, 7, 8, 9, 10. I played X2. I never played 12, although I own it. But X2 was really the last Final Fantasy game I played. And I never finished it. But you find that there are definitely consistencies in each one. And I think that's part of the reason why this series has gone on as long as it has, and why it's maintained its popularity for so long. And also, when they make drastic changes like they did in Final Fantasy XII, introducing that Gambit system. And I will admit, I think they tried too hard with that, which is why when I did give it a try. I never finished it. But I found that the Gambit system, for me, and I'm only speaking for myself here, I know a lot of people played FF12 and really enjoyed it. They found it off-putting because you essentially set up the characters to do whatever they wanted to do, and it took the user interface experience out entirely. Whereas when you've grown up on these sorts of versions of role-playing games, and you have that obvious control over how you want the characters to interact, what you want them to do in a particular fight, how you want them to react in certain situations, then it's more worthwhile. And you feel like you get more out of it, as opposed to if you just, for lack of a better term, if you just automate it. Now I gotta remember how we got out of here. Let's see. Returner's hideout, travel through the Let River. Oh, that's right. The path is in. Path out is in Bannon's room. We get another save point, so I will save it here. And here's where we head out the waterfall. Now we shouldn't have to fight Othros again. Ooh, we stole a Mithril Claw. That'll be nice, potentially, for MASH. I remember fighting these guys the first time thinking, I'm not going to enjoy dealing with them. I think I'm being a pushover. Alright. We're going to hit another save point, so I'm not going to worry about this one. If I remember it right, we go left. And what do we get? Stole a mithril knife. Alright, well, let's do that. Save this. Onward! I'm not entirely sure what all enemy skills we will pick up, but if we can get stuff like... We face some pretty stout enemies that have quite a lot of really cool abilities here. So what I'm really hoping for is that the payoff for doing this matches up. Okay. If it doesn't, then I'm going to feel like this is a colossal waste of my time, but thereby making it also a waste of your time, which is going to make me feel like an utter burk. And I don't like feeling like a burk on my best day. I certainly don't like it when I'm making content and when I'm trying to play a game. Ouch. I do wish I knew where my overhead map went. That seems to have disappeared, and I don't find that particularly fun. But we're getting more potions, and that's nothing I'm going to scoff at. And polishes him off. Okay. We appear to have gone slightly the wrong way. And we do have to heal up Locke from being poisoned. Do I have any? I do. I have 2 of them. Looks like we're having Haas and Pfeffer tonight, boys. More Haas and Pfeffer. Oh, and there's Torp again. Nuke him. Alright. So head down this way. So this one might run a little bit longer because I want to make sure we get to the Velt in this episode. If I keep running... I don't think I can stop running into these ostrich guys. That'd be great. Okay. There we go. We hit the bridge. Cross the bridge. Now I know where we're going. Because there's the castle. Come across this way. Or I have to go through the forest again. We whiffed on hitting that cat with a stone. Well, you're trying to hit a cat with a rock. Cats tend to be disinterested in such things. and are quick to get out of the way. Again, I say that as somebody who currently lives in a domicile with 3 of them. I remember the recovery spring. Oh, but we can't use it this time. Well, that's annoying. As is it getting our bum lit on fire. There we go. Not entirely sure how you mug a ghost, but I'll take advantage of the opportunity while I can. Ow. Jerk. Whoop. That's what I thought. You forget you're walking around a maze, and that if you're not careful, you will go right back out the way you came in. There. Over hill and dale. Over Barren Falls. Yes, jump in. Geronimo! Now we have to fight stuff on the way down, or are they just going to have us... Nope. We're going to wash up here. And we have hit the veldt. All right. Now we should get Gal back here in a minute. And I'll be very curious to see what all he has learned. Alright, there's the town. So, we're going to hang out around here in the veldt long enough to get Gal back, because I want to see what he has. Go away, Spanner. There he is. Which is good, because I almost inadvertently attacked him. Alright. Has he learned anything? Didn't you work faux pas? He's learned a little bit. But he could have learned a whole lot more. So, I think what we're going to do is we're going to head up to town. Because there's some stuff I want to get here while we're able. And then we shall put a bow on this one and call it good. Specifically, I will cap off my potion quota. And do we have an accessory shop around here? I don't think we do. Does not appear so, unless there's one here in the inn. Nope. Is there one over here? Nope, just a weapons armor shop. Okay. So we'll put a bow on this one since we're closing on 40 minutes, so we haven't had to go too long. And in the meantime, what I will do before Monday is I will do a little bit more work with Gao to see if I can get him some more skills, and then we can head back in the way we came. So in the meantime, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and ring the bell for the latest content. Don't forget to miss out on Sports Saturday, or don't forget to check out Sports Saturday, I should say. I swear one of these days I'm going to get this promo, right? Don't forget to check out Sports Saturday tomorrow, and Sucker Punch Sunday on Sunday, and then you can also follow us on Twitter at @Retrocade, and if there are any games you'd like to see us play across the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generations, leave it in the comments or drop me a tweet. You can choose from the Nintendo Entertainment System, Super Nintendo, Sega Master System, Sega Genesis, Neo-Geo, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. I think it's time for me to get on out of here, so enjoy the rest of your weekend if I don't see you before Monday. And have a good one. Bye.